نحمده ونصلي ونسلم ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. With regards to Duha prayers, there is difference of opinion among the fuqaha, muhaddithun on one side, the scholars, and among the sulha or the pious predecessors who are spiritual masters as well. Are they two different prayers or they are just one and the same prayer? Meaning, between Fajr and Dhuhr, do we have two voluntary prayer, nafil prayers, or do we just have one prayer called Duha? Is Duha the one that is done at the early time, or is it the one that is done at the later time? So as I said, the fuqaha or muhaddithun would generally consider these to be one prayer. So from fiqhi aspect, from shari'i aspect, one prayer is fine. As long as one does that with the intention of duha, it is duha prayer, no problem. But there are certain reports which suggest that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would encourage people to pray straight after sun has risen, for say 10-15 minutes after that, which is shuruq time, ishraq time, earlier duha time. And there are many benefits of it, including the fact that it would be a charity on behalf of every bone that we have, every joint that we have in a day, and it will keep us away from being written as ghafil, the heedless. Why? Because we engage in our worldly chores, earning a living, and we tend to forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we just in the middle come back and say, Ya Allah, we haven't forgotten you, and we pray. There's a report to suggest that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said words to the effect that prayer at the time when sun is more bright, not straight after Fajr, at the time when the baby camel feels the heat of the desert earth, and they will cry. Obviously, adult camel wouldn't feel that pain because of their fully developed hooves, yet the babies would find it too hot and would just go in between the webs and the crevice between the two hooves, and they would cry for that reason. And that is the time for that duha prayer, according to some reports. Obviously, that would make it way after, at least an hour or so after the sun has risen, because in the first half an hour, 45 minutes, sun is not that hot. It's actually quite cool and very soothing, especially in the desert Arabia. So about say an hour or so later, the time comes when it is really hot. So are the two prayers, or is it just one prayer? Is differed upon. One, inshallah ta'ala, can take whichever position he wants. The sulha of the ummah, spiritual masters, would say that pray two different prayers, 2 rakat or 4 rakat each. One is called ishraq, the first one, or shuruq. Other one is called chasht, which is the Persian term normally used in Southeast Asia, and Arabs use that as well, but different term. They call it duha. Duha means both, or just the later one, or the earlier one, or is it just one? All legitimate views. One can stick with whichever one they are comfortable with. Minimum 2, you can do more, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq to do as much as possible.